Hi, I'm Oliver Sharpe, and I'm very excited to be joined now by Gina McCarthy, the Administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's great to be here, thanks.
Let's start with the basics. What's the mission of the EPA?
Mission of the EPA is really easy. It's to protect public health and the environment.
And what are the greatest challenges facing both public health and the environment today?
Well, we continue to have lots of challenges. We've made great progress, but today I'm talking about what I think is the biggest challenge we face, which is the challenge of climate change.
Aspen is all about the snow, and we have to recognize that climate changes everything. It impacts every community, every individual life, all of our industries. So we need to take action, not tomorrow, we need to take action today. Because climate change does threaten skiing, it does threaten snowboarding, it does threaten winter recreation as we know it.
And climate change seems like one of those issues that people get hyper-focused after a natural disaster, a superstorm, or a man-made disaster like an oil spill. How do you keep people engaged beyond that?
Well, one of the reasons I'm here is to try to do that. I mean, it's time for really concerted action on climate change. And I think the most important thing is the president has really embraced this challenge. He believes it to be not only a challenge but an economic opportunity for this country, that instead of investing in 70-year energy, let's think about what tomorrow looks like and let's shape that future and keep the U.S. competitive economically. And let's protect our environment while we do it, because it's why we live here.
For snow.
Did you do that on purpose? That was so cool.
And you mentioned the president. He outlined in the State of the Union address his goals for the next 2 years, technology, the economy, even transportation, education. The environment plays a key role in a lot of those issues. How do you see that being intertwined with a lot of his mission?
Yeah, I think it's directly related, and he sees it the same way as well, which is why he thinks, in fact, he knows that we can take the actions we're taking at the federal level. For example, the work we're doing to regulate emissions from our power plants. We can do that in a way that's reasonable, that's practical, that's affordable, but it also ensures that we continue to have a growing economy, and we're also producing the jobs in the future. I mean, we're talking about renewables, we're talking about energy efficiency, we're talking about more energy independence, we're talking about security for ourselves. I mean, these are all good things, and if we get moving now, he and I are sure that the momentum will carry.
And you're here in Aspen, you're at the Winter X Games, an event in a community that rely heavily on the winter and long winters. Why is it important for you to be here in Aspen talking to this generation in this community?
Because I think people do forget that the challenge of climate change is more than an environmental challenge, that it is an economic challenge, and that the most expensive thing we can do is nothing. Because if you look at the outdoor winter outdoor industry, we're talking about $67 billion in investment that is being made every year. And we're talking about 900,000 jobs. And we're here in Aspen, whose economy revolves around its winter sports activities. You know, it's essential that we think about this. And it's not just skiing, but all factors of our life can be impacted by climate. But only if we let it, only if we don't take action.
And the time for action is now. 2014 was the hottest year on record.
It was.
This isn't really a question, that's just alarming. Like, what else does it take to get people to wake up and take action?
Well, I think people have woken up, and I think the president's leadership on this has been really part of that. He stood up a year and a half or 2 years ago and he said, you know, the time to debate the science is over, the time to act is now.
Decades of carefully reviewed science tells us our planet is changing in ways that will have profound impacts on the world we leave our children. Those who already feel the effects of a changing climate don't have time to deny it. They're busy dealing with it. The National Climate Action Plan I unveiled will cut carbon pollution, protect our country from the impacts of climate change, and lead the world in a coordinated assault on a changing climate.
He's developed a climate action plan that EPA and the other agencies are moving forward on. And we are seeing now polling that shows across the U.S. that 60 to 70% of the people in this country recognize that climate change is happening. They feel it, they see it. They're not waiting or projecting it, they see the results. And they also know that mankind has influenced that, and they're ready for this. They're ready for action. They just want to make sure that their leadership moves forward.
Let's talk about action on a grassroots level. What can we do as individuals day to day to help you in your fight?
Well, reward businesses that take action. You know, we've had over 200 businesses tell us that they support the Clean Power Plan. So support people who are taking action, who are acting responsibly. There's businesses everywhere, like here in Aspen, that are doing a great job. but individuals can really help. You know, it goes back to things I talked about in the 60s, recycling, energy efficient cars, Energy Star appliances. You know, it's living well, it's buying food locally. It's not buying so much food that half of it gets thrown out. You know, there's so many things that you could do that are common sense, that really, so that you become part of the solution here. But talk about it. You know, don't be afraid of climate change. Talk about it. Integrate it into your life. You know, embrace it as a challenge, but one in which we can turn it into an opportunity for all of us and an opportunity for us to get our planet healthy again.
Gina, thank you so much for your time today. We look to all of you to turn the challenge of climate change into an opportunity.